Welcome back to the Uncensored 911 channel. In today's episode, we have a few calls to listen to and their backstories to discuss. This first call takes place in Seal Beach at a hair salon.
On over here.
California Highway Patrol.
Hey, we've had some shootings over here in Seal Beach.
Okay, where?
It's a salon, the Meritage on PCH and 5th Street. We need an ambulance.
PCH at 5th. Who's shot?
Some people in the salon here.
Okay, hold on. Let me connect you to the fire department.
Okay.
And the shooter, is he still there?
No, we saw him walk away. I think he's down. We saw him in the truck down the street.
Okay, who was it?
I don't know. It was some large white man.
White male adult?
Yeah, white male, maybe about 300 pounds.
Okay, why did he start shooting?
What's that?
Why was he shooting?
I don't know. We were at a construction site across the street.
Okay, can you help me get fire rolling on log 289? Hold on, I need to connect you with the...
fire department.
Okay. Hold on. They're at a salon, a hair salon. Police department. Hi, it's Orange County CHC with a transfer. He's shots fired at PCH and 5th?
Yes, we have it. Ma'am, are you involved?
He's got a description of the shooter.
Hello? Hello?
Across the street.
Okay, he said a white male adult, approximately 300 pounds, last seen wearing a white shirt. Sir? Sir?
Did you have a vehicle description?
No. He said he walked away from the,
Did he say which way he went?
No, but he was walking towards a truck. Sir, are you there?
Do you know his number?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll stay on the line, see if I can get this. Thank you.
Anybody else not involved in this, I need you back. Yeah. Okay, any witnesses, I need to step over here. Okay? We have somebody now. We're already getting it. No, I think my phone is right there. It's right there. The phone's right there. It's right there. You're good. Are you okay? No, because I was talking to Steve Hicks, so that's what the lady getting in there. Turned around and he started wearing We have them. They got them stopped already. Got them?
Seal Beach, are you still landline?
Witnesses that were inside to stay here, please.
Hello?
Anybody that's heard, stay here.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Sam 20, there's now 7 victims. 7 victims.
7 victims. Hello? Hello?
No medics at our location. I need another unit.
Hello?
Locked inside a facial room at the back of a hair salon, a woman dialed 911 and pleaded with dispatchers to send someone to help the people who screamed and cried as gunfire raged outside the door. Hiding with two others, she spoke in a soft, muffled voice, fearing someone might hear her as she described the gunman and said he had a problem with one of the stylists at Salon Meritage. The recordings were made in the chaotic and terrifying moments after the gunman barged into the salon and opened fire, killing 8 people and leaving 1 wounded. 7 people called police in the minutes after the Wednesday afternoon shooting began, including the woman inside the facial room and 6 others who phoned from nearby businesses and the parking lot. Scott DeCray, the ex-husband of one of the salon workers, was quickly arrested nearby and charged with 8 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Prosecutors say the 42-year-old former tugboat operator was seeking revenge against the stylist in a custody dispute over their 8-year-old son. Some callers had locked themselves in bathrooms and refused to come out until police arrived. Others tried to remain calm and gave orders to lock doors while rattling off a quick description of the suspect to dispatchers fielding calls for the Seal Beach Police Department. Sobbing, one woman called while hiding behind a car in the parking lot. Authorities say that after a final conversation with his ex-wife, Michelle Fournier, that morning, DeCray drove to the salon where he knew she would be working. 8 people were shot inside the salon and only 1 survived, customer Harriet Strez, 73. She had gone to the salon that day to have her hair done by her daughter, Laura Lee Elodie, who was killed in the shooting. Strez was released from the hospital. DeCray and Fournier split up in 2006 and divorced the following year. The two had joint custody of their son and had been involved in an increasingly acrimonious custody dispute, since DeCray asked a judge to grant him more time with the boy and change his school. Both parents were in court the day before the shootings for a custody hearing that was continued until December. They had recently received a report from a court-appointed psychologist that recommended their custody arrangement remain the same, said John Cate, Fournier's attorney in the custody dispute. The report also urged the former couple to attend counseling to learn how to effectively co-parent. On Wednesday, October 12, 2011, at 1:21 p.m., police responded to reports of shots fired at the Salon Meritage Hair Salon at 500 Pacific Coast Highway. The shooter was armed with 3 handguns and reloaded at least once during the attack, which lasted 2 minutes. There were about 20 people in the salon at the time, some managing to escape by running into the street or hiding in neighboring businesses. 6 people were declared dead at the scene, and 3 survivors were taken to a hospital where 2 of them later died of their wounds. Police later named the weapons used in the shooting as a 9mm Springfield, a .45 caliber Heckler & Koch, and a .44 Magnum Smith & Wesson Model 29. The shooter's former wife, Michelle Fournier, one of the employees at the salon, was one of the victims. The suspect in the shooting, named by police as 41-year-old Scott Evans DeCray of Huntington Beach, California, was arrested without incident after being stopped while driving a white pickup truck about 1/2 mile, 0.8 kilometers, from the scene of the crime. DeCray was wearing body armor at the time of his arrest. The incident was the worst mass murder in Orange County, surpassing the Fullerton Massacre in July 1976, in which 7 people died. There had been only 1 murder in Seal Beach during the previous 4 years. A candlelight vigil was held in the evening of the next day for the victims of the shooting. A fund set up to aid victims of the shooting raised around $400,000. A remodeled Salon Meritage reopened under the same name on November 18, 2012. Scott Evans DeCray pleaded guilty to 8 felony counts of special circumstances murder for committing multiple murders and 1 felony count of attempted murder. DeCray was sentenced to 8 terms of life imprisonment without parole and 1 term of 7 years to life for attempted murder. This next call takes place in Spring Hill. This call is sad, really. It's about a woman who suffered from PTSD and has multiple mental disabilities and who obviously felt as though she was not being treated well by her husband. Take a listen.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Yeah, I'm turning myself in for my husband. The number is...
Ma'am, I can't hear you with the dog in the background.
I'm sorry. I'm turning myself in for killing my husband. My number is Avenue in Spring Hill.
Where's your husband?
He's on the couch right now.
Okay. Is he alive?
No.
Okay. What is your street name? Okay. How did you kill him?
What was that?
How did you do this? What did you do to him?
I shot him.
Okay. And you're sure that he's not breathing?
Yes.
Okay. Where's the gun?
On the counter.
And where did you shoot him?
Excuse me?
Where did you shoot him?
In the head.
Okay. Why did you do this?
Because I had been suffering years of mental and verbal abuse, and I just felt like I've reached the end.
And what is your name? What's your last name? Okay. Is there anybody else with you?
Yes, my parents.
Okay. And do they know what happened?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't have any weapons on you, do you?
No.
And you said you put the gun down where?
On the counter.
Okay.
Before she shot her husband in the head as he lay sleeping on the couch on Christmas Eve 2011, Karen Baragi thought about what would happen if she went through with it. She told investigators later that she knew his life would be over and that hers would be, too. At the end of an emotional 2-hour hearing, Hernando Circuit Judge Daniel B. Merritt Jr. sentenced Baragi to life in prison for the murder of Alan Baragi. Charged with first-degree murder, Baragi pleaded guilty in January to the lesser charge of murder in the second degree. Sentencing guidelines called for a minimum prison term of 25 years and a maximum of life. Merritt noted that he has sentenced half a dozen defendants to life in prison over the past 28 months. This defendant is at least as deserving, and in the judgment of the court, more so of the same treatment, Merritt said. Ma'am, I hope you do find some good purpose in your incarceration. Earlier, Baragi sobbed as she apologized by speakerphone to her former mother-in-law, Rosemary Baragi, who was on the line from England. There's nothing I can say that will make a difference, but I'm really sorry, Baragi said. I wish this never happened, and I have to live with this every day for the rest of my life. It's okay, Karen, Rosemary Baragi replied. I accept your apology. I will pray for you. Baragi's attorneys, Jason Bangos and Larry Hoffman, asked Merritt to levy the minimum sentence, in large part due to a litany of mental health issues. Baragi told Merritt she wanted to have another chance to be a mother to her 22-year-old daughter. I want additional help, and I want to be there for my daughter, she said. Valerie McLean, a licensed clinical psychologist, testified that Baragi suffers from bipolar disorder, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and bulimia. McLean said Baragi has the coping skills of an adolescent due to physical and sexual abuse suffered during childhood by neighbors and cousins and, later, by her first husband. Baragi also abused alcohol and pain pills, McLean said. During cross-examination by Assistant State Attorney Pete Magrino, McLean acknowledged that Baragi knew the difference between right and wrong. Court documents portray Baragi as a lonely woman who sought affection elsewhere, and became increasingly angry and despondent as her decade-long marriage turned cold. When the couple married, Alan Baragi adopted Karen's then 8-year-old daughter. They moved to a house on Grainolds Avenue in Spring Hill about 3 years before Alan's death. By 2010, records show, Karen was corresponding with men she met online, complaining that Alan didn't make her feel wanted. By the summer of that year, she was in the midst of an affair. A week before the killing, records show, Baragi had an intimate encounter with a neighbor. Alan Baragi worked at a Pasco County air conditioning company, and both he and his wife delivered newspapers for the Tampa Bay Times. About a month before his death, Alan Baragi and a female coworker struck up a friendship that quickly progressed. They decided he would move into her Spring Hill home on December 26th. Alan Baragi got a second cell phone to keep the relationship secret. On December 20th, He admitted to his wife that there was more to the relationship than she knew. The next morning, Karen Baragi went to a pawn shop and placed a down payment on a .38 caliber revolver. She told investigators later that she bought the gun because her husband was mentally and verbally abusive and that he scared her. On the stand, she said she planned to use the gun to commit suicide. "Nothing mattered to me anymore," she said. About 3 a.m. December 24th, Alan Baragi sent a text to the other woman, telling her he loved her. He finished his paper route, returned home and fell asleep on the couch. While he slept, Karen Baragi left the house, returned to the pawn shop and picked up the gun. Records show. Authorities say she came home, found her husband's second cell phone and discovered the romantic text messages. She retrieved the gun from the bedroom and loaded it with 6 bullets. In an interview with a detective later that day, she said she held the gun and considered her next move. After about an hour, she said, she walked up to the couch, aimed the gun at her husband's head and pulled the trigger. Then she went to her parents' house and told them what she had done. They all returned and Baragi called 911. When the operator asked her why she shot her husband, she said, "Because I have been suffering years of mental and verbal abuse, and I just felt like I've reached the end." This next call takes place in Volusia County, Florida. The terrible part about this entire thing is the fact that an 11-year-old witnessed this entire massacre. Take a listen.
911, where's your emergency?
I'm coming.
What city are you in?
It's in Enterprise.
What's going on there?
There's a shooting.
A shooting? Who's been shot, ma'am?
I believe a woman and a man, and I believe the shooter's still in the house. I'm not sure if he's alive or not. I don't know if he's alive, actually.
Wait a minute.
I just heard the shots fired.
Or is it a different address? You sure it's...
I'm standing right in front of the house.
All right, let me see here. Just stay on the phone with me, okay?
I'm with you.
Okay. Where you... And you're standing right out in front?
Right, I am.
Okay, you know these people?
I do.
Who are they to you?
Neighbors. Are they on the way?
We have the call, ma'am. And who's inside the house with what?
Well, since I got it.
Hello?
Since I wasn't in the house, I'm not exactly sure who was in the house. But the daughter of the mom, who I think was in the house, is still in the house, and the grandfather, and the dad of the little girl.
So you're not sure?
The little girl is out here.
You're not sure?
But I believe that a woman and a man, and the man who's doing the shooting is in there.
And you just heard all of this, or?
Yeah. I was out walking my dog, and I heard shots, and I thought maybe somebody was shooting the gator or something, but don't think so. But we need somebody here right away.
Okay, so when you heard the shots, then what happened?
I'm still walking around the corner. There is no visible sign of anybody inside. I don't hear anything. Well, I'm scared to go in to find out, because if the guy's in there still with a gun...
Yeah, don't do that, but I'm just trying to understand how you've come to the conclusion that people were shot. Did someone tell you this, or is this just speculation?
Next door neighbors also, and the little girl whose mom is in there is saying that also.
She was in there at the time?
But I did hear fire. I did hear gunshots.
Right, I understand that, but how do you know somebody was shot?
Just by what the little girl's saying. I don't know. I walked up and called 911. Were you in the house all day? Says yes. Why isn't there somebody coming?
They got to drive there, ma'am.
The fire department is just across the street.
I'm sorry, what's that?
The fire department's just across the street.
Right, well, we have to have police officers there as well. Someone's standing there with a gun.
Okay. There was a police officer that was right around the corner.
Okay, but
Should I walk back and get him?
No. The units that are on duty got to respond, ma'am.
I don't hear any sirens or anything. Why are all the dogs barking? They were. So he might have shut the dog. Yeah, I heard that many too.
Just stay on the phone with me until they get there.
That's what AD said. AD.
And who else is calling, ma'am?
The next door neighbor.
And that's the one that was in the house?
No. The next door neighbor was at her house. And she heard gunfire. She came running out. She's on the phone. I don't know to who because I'm consumed with this phone call.
Right, but we have somebody else on the line that had called before you called in. That's what I'm trying to...
It might be the next door neighbor. Hang on this day for me. I'm going to walk around back. There's been some talk that Phil's on the porch dead, so I'm going to walk around back.
Ma'am,
you going to go with me? Okay.
Ma'am, don't wait for the officers, ma'am. Don't do that.
No, I mean, nobody's coming.
Ma'am.
I don't even hear a siren or anything.
Ma'am, what?
I'm walking.
Ma'am. Ma'am. Hello?
Hello?
If we have officers pulling up on scene and there's a shooter in the house, they're going to be coming there with their weapons drawn. You should not be.
That.
So you need to get away from that area. And then you also tell me that somebody's shooting inside the house. Why would you walk onto the property and walk behind the house?
I'm not on the property.
You need to stay off the property.
I'm not on the property. I'm next door, and Phil's on the back deck. Then let's call us. Yeah. Well, I don't know what kind of shirt, but if it's... Yeah. Okay, so he shot himself, too. Oh, my God. Are you still there?
Yes, ma'am.
All three on the back porch. Oh, my heart's racing. He shot himself, too. So there's 3 bodies on the back porch.
Okay, so you went back there. Ma'am?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
All right, so you went back there?
Yeah. Well, I'm not on the property. I'm next door. I'm looking on the back deck, and I see 3 bodies. 1 girl, 2 men.
1 girl and 2 men?
Yes.
Okay.
And it doesn't look like anybody's breathing.
Okay.
Oh my God. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Somebody's got to get here right now. Where are they?
They're driving there, ma'am.
Okay, but I've got to go.
No,
I've got to go see if anybody's
neighbor
alive.
walking her dog in front of the house.
I've got to go see if anybody's alive. Oh my God. Where are they? Where are they?
Ma'am, they're driving there. I need you to calm down.
I'm calm. I'm calm, but my heart is racing.
You need to get away from there because the officers are going to be pulling up and they're going to be trying to clear that area. So you need to get away from there.
I've got to go get the dog. There's a Great Dane inside. Actually, he's in the backyard, and he's not even barking.
Where at the house or the
backyard?
No, you need to stay, ma'am. You need to stay out of there.
Okay.
Stay out of there. The officers are pulling up with their guns drawn. Stay out of there.
Kelly, go around back and let Bentley out for me. She's yelling at him to see if anybody's alive. Ellie! She's not listening to me. She's going in. The next door neighbor.
Who just went in the house? Who's going in there?
Next door neighbor.
The next door neighbor?
The next door neighbor. She
You need to stay out of the house. How many times I've said get out of the house?
But you gotta get somebody here.
Ma'am, we have officers on hand. This is a
You gotta get somebody here.
Ma'am, let me explain something. This is the sheriff's office. That's a crime scene. Get out of that house. I'm a deputy. I'm telling you to get out of the house now.
Crime scene. You gotta get away.
Get out of the house now. I'm ordering you to out of that house. Period. The deputies are coming on scene. Get out of there and go meet with the deputies.
I agree.
Tell her to get out of that house, ma'am. Okay? Because you're putting yourself in danger.
I'm not in the house. I'm talking to the other person who is.
Tell him to get out.
Ellie?
She's going to get shot by a deputy if she don't get out of that house. That's a problem.
Ellie? Bill, can you grab her?
Get her out of there. And go meet the deputies, please. Okay?
Here they come. The sirens are coming. Come on, you got to get out of there.
Just get out of there and go meet the deputies. Okay?
If I can grab Billy. Billy, come on. Come on, boy. Come on. I'm not going to do it. I hear the deputies, so I got to hang up. I got to get the other door.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
A murder-suicide left 3 people dead inside a Volusia County home, and an 11-year-old girl witnessed the entire incident unfold. 73-year-old Philip Spinney lived in the home with his daughter, 41-year-old Laura Negrin, and his 11-year-old granddaughter. Investigators believe Lara's ex-husband, 39-year-old Carlos Negrin, shot her, Spinney, and then himself. 3 victims were found on the back porch, 2 adult males, 1 adult female. Deputies responded to the home south of Deltona, along Sunset Road in Stone Island after receiving a 911 call from a neighbor who heard gunfire. The early morning gunshots rattled the usually quiet community. Investigators believe Lara's estranged husband Carlos shot them both and then turned the gun on himself. The Negrin's 11-year-old daughter was in the home and watched it unfold. Neighbors heard the gunshots and, when they went outside, they saw the 11-year-old girl running toward them. Ruthermund called 911 and took the girl inside her home. She said Laura Negrin and the girl had been living with Spinney for about 1 year since Laura separated from Carlos, and they were going through a divorce. The girl named AD told Ruthermund her father shot them, and then called a family friend to come take care of her. The couple's child wasn't injured and is in the care of the sheriff's office and officials with the Florida Department of Children and Families. A handgun was recovered near the body of Carlos Negrin. An old domestic violence case involving the Negrins from 2001 where Carlos was arrested was found, but there were no current restraining orders found. After shooting his wife and father-in-law on the porch of their Stone Island home Monday. But before turning the gun on himself, Carlos Negrin called a friend and asked her to come take care of his 11-year-old daughter Adriana. Kelly Rorick told a 911 dispatcher she received a call from Negrin with a chilling message. "I just killed Laura and Phil." Rorick told dispatchers she had been the mediator through the Negrins' divorce, and that she told Carlos Negrin the agreement was that he was not to go to Spinney's house. "They're going through a nasty divorce," she told 911 operators. Adriana saw her mother and grandfather die and ran from the house, unaware that her father had committed suicide. Adriana was not injured in the shootings at the home. There was considerable confusion over whether Carlos Negrin was still alive during the early minutes of the 911 calls. This final call that we have here takes place in Queens, New York. There was a lot of controversy that surrounded this case and what happened. Take a listen and tell me what you think.
She separated 2016 years from my
school. These are undercover detectives, Vice Narcotics. We're 143. Around the corner. I'm an undercover police officer. There's a shots fired.
Okay, where? What locate? What's the address?
We're putting it over the radio right now. This is around the corner from Kalua's Strip Bar.
What is the address there?
We're trying to get an address, and I'm trying to be safe about it. Hold on 1 second, please. Undercover units involved.
What's the address, sir? I need an address.
I don't have an address for
You
them.
don't have an address? And you going over the radio as well?
They're coming over the radio right now.
Okay, so you going over the radio with the address and you can't give me the address, sir?
Mike, what's the address? Around the corner from 143.
143 and what, sir? 143 Avenue, 143 Street, 143 Place, 143
143
what?
Place in Queens.
143 Place in what? We need a
It's the 103 precinct, and I need your question. Call a bus.
Call a bus for what, sir?
Call a bus.
What's the address?
What's the address? You need the location.
Sir, hello?
Yes, I'm on the line.
Are you a male black, white, or Spanish, sir?
I am male black.
Male black. What color shirt is you wearing or coat?
I got a black vest,
Black
beige
vest
sweater.
and a beige sweater. And
Beige sweater.
what's the cross street? 143rd Place and what?
Hold on 1 second.
Is there injury? You say you need a bus. You need a bus for what? Who's
You know
injured?
about the shots fired.
Shots fired, but who's injured?
I don't have that information at this time.
You asked somebody just now for a location. 143rd Place and what? Hello?
Hold on. I'm working to the address. There's multiple people out here.
But who shot though? Who shot? Who
MOS involved.
MOS is involved, but who's down, sir? Hello?
I can't see from this distance.
Is the MOS involved down? Hello?
That I don't know.
You don't know?
Not at this time.
How many people down? Hello? Sir, how many people
Okay,
down?
they're coming. They're here.
Who's coming?
My crew's coming. Hold on.
But you didn't give me a cross street. What's the cross street? 143rd Place and what, sir?
What's the cross? Right here.
Sir, you don't see a building number or anything?
I don't have a building number in front of me.
But you don't know.
Hold on. It's coming over right now. They got the cross.
Sir, in order for me to help you, you have to have a cross street or some kind of building or some kind of landmark or something so I can help you. Sir, who's down? Is the MOS down?
No. Not
MOS is not down.
down.
Hello? The MOS not down?
Okay, we got 2 perp shots.
We got 2 perp shots. Well, give me your address, sir. 2 perp shot where?
Hold on 1 second, please.
Sir, you from...
here, bro.
Hello? Hello?
What's the cross?
Sir, hello? Are you there?
What's the cross? 144 and 94. 144 and 94.
144 Street or Placer Avenue?
Street.
144 Street and 94 what Avenue? Hello?
144 and 94. 144 and 94.
144 Street and 94 Avenue, sir?
Yes.
It's not crossing. What's the street? Sir? Hello? Hello?
95 and
95 what? 95 Avenue? Hello?
145? Yes. 145 and 9th Avenue.
95 Avenue?
9th Avenue? 94 Avenue, 95 Avenue.
94 Avenue, 95 Avenue, and 14th Street? Hello, sir?
Yeah.
So
Go ahead, I'm here.
So you say you was undercover?
Yes.
You was undercover?
We got uniforms on the scene. We have patrol on the scene now.
Yeah, uniforms on the scene. Now, you said rush the bus. Rush the bus with 2 people shot. 2 people shot,
Yes. Let me get the cross. Again. 144 94 55. 95.
You have cops on the scene, sir?
Yes.
You have cops on the scene?
Yes,
right.
we have multiple uniforms on the scene.
Okay, sir.
Just need a bus here.
Okay, the bus is being Okay.
Sean Bell, an unarmed African-American, was shot and killed by undercover New York City Police Department, NYPD, officers in the borough of Queens on November 25, 2006. Bell and two of his friends were shot when both plainclothes and undercover NYPD officers fired a total of 50 rounds. Bell's friends, Trent Benefield and Joseph Guzman, were severely wounded. The incident sparked fierce criticism of the New York City Police Department from members of the public and drew comparisons to the 1999 killing of Amadou Diallo. 3 of the 5 detectives involved in the shooting went to trial on charges of first and second-degree manslaughter, first and second-degree assault, and second-degree reckless endangerment. They were found not guilty. Bell was 23 years old at the time of his death. He was a nephew of college basketball coach Frank Haith. Bell was a pitcher on the baseball team for John Adams High School in Ozone Park and also studied acting in Flushing, Queens, and worked odd jobs after the birth of his daughter, Jada, on December 16, 2002. His fiancée, Nicole Paltray, told Larry King that Bell was studying to be an electrician. On the night of his death, Bell was hosting a bachelor party at Club Kahlua, a strip club that was being investigated by undercover police over accusations that the owners fostered prostitution. The New York Post reported that Joseph Guzman had an argument with a man outside the bar and threatened to get a gun. One of Bell's friends reportedly said, "Yo, get my gun," as they left the club. Thinking a shooting was about to take place, a plainclothes officer named Jesgard Isnora followed Bell and his companions. He alerted his backup team, who confronted Bell and his companions outside. According to Isnora, he held out his badge, identified himself as a police officer, and ordered the driver to stop. Instead, Bell accelerated the car, striking Isnora, and then collided with an unmarked police minivan. Isnora said he saw Guzman reach for a gun. He yelled a warning to the other policemen, and they opened fire on the car to prevent the possible shooting by Guzman. 5 policemen joined in, firing about 50 bullets into Bell's car. Witness accounts of the event conflict with the account provided by police. According to Joseph Guzman, the plainclothes detectives never identified themselves as they approached with their weapons drawn. According to the New York Daily News, witnesses claimed the officers failed to warn Bell before opening fire, beginning to shoot as soon as they left their cars. A toxicology report showed that Bell was legally intoxicated at the time he was shot. An attorney for Bell's family replied, "No matter what his blood alcohol level was, he's a victim." Isnora, the officer who initiated the shooting, claimed later that he saw a 4th man in the car who fled the scene, possibly with the alleged weapon. It was speculated that one of Bell's friends, Gene Nelson, was the 4th man. Nelson admitted that he was present but denied being in the car or having a weapon. Critics suggest that Isnora fabricated the alleged presence of a 4th man to justify the shooting and to avoid being convicted by a jury. New York Daily News columnist Juan Gonzalez reported that in the hours immediately after the shooting, there was no mention of a 4th man in police calls, and no search was launched for the alleged armed man. This contradicts claims that the police searched the neighborhood for a missing man. According to the New York Times, a preliminary police report said, there was no meaningful discussion of a 4th man, a mysterious figure who some in the police department have suggested may have been present along with the 3 men who were shot. None of the witnesses whose accounts are in the report speaks of someone who may have fled, perhaps possessing a gun, and there are no indications that the police at the time were seeking anyone who may have left the scene. According to Michael Palladino, head of the Police Detectives Union, a man working as a janitor in a nearby building told the detectives that he had seen a black man fleeing the scene, and that the man had fired at least once at the police. The janitor claimed he had then heard a detective shouting, "Police! Police!" However, ballistic evidence showed no evidence of any weapon having been fired except those of the officers. In an interview on Larry King Live, Al Sharpton, accompanied by Paltray, stated that according to his conversations with eyewitnesses, none of the 3 men mentioned a gun while leaving the club. Sharpton also said that it would have been impossible for anyone in the car to have heard the police. He said they were likely in fear that they were being carjacked. The NYPD Detectives Union and others complained that the payments brought into question the witnesses' credibility. Sharpton replied, "How can the Detectives Endowment Association support the detectives and I can't support the victims?" In criminal cases also, any contract entered between an accused and a witness to give testimony in her favor is treated as invalid. 5 of the 7 officers took part in the shooting. Detective Paul Headley fired 1 shot. Officer Michael Carey fired 3 times. Officer Mark Cooper shot 4 times, and Officer Jesgard Isnora 11. Veteran Officer Michael Oliver emptied 2 full magazines, firing 31 times with a 9mm handgun, pausing to reload at least once. An autopsy showed that Bell had been struck 4 times in the neck and torso. Guzman was shot 19 times, and Benefield, who was in the back seat of the vehicle, was hit 3 times. Guzman and Benefield were taken to Mary Immaculate Hospital. Guzman was listed in critical condition, and Benefield was in stable condition. Both men survived the shooting. Benefield was released from the hospital on December 5, 2006, while Guzman was released on January 25, 2007. Surveillance cameras at the Port Authority's Jamaica AirTran station, a half-block away from the shooting site, recorded one of the bullets shattering the station's glass window, narrowly missing a bystander and 2 Port Authority patrolmen standing on the elevated platform. On April 25, 2008, all 3 of the police officers indicted were acquitted on all counts. The defendants opted to have Justice Arthur J. Cooperman make a ruling rather than a jury. The ruling was handed down in a state Supreme Court in Queens. In New York State, the Supreme Court is the trial-level court of unlimited original jurisdiction. A key defense forensic witness was Alexander Jason, a crime scene analyst and ballistics expert who disproved several of the prosecution's main points relating to the physical evidence. Among them was the timing of the incident. After performing tests with an NYPD pistol, Jason demonstrated that the 31 shots fired by one detective, Oliver, could have been done in about 12 seconds and not several minutes. Using high-speed video during ballistic testing, Jason demonstrated that bullets fired through a car window would project glass both inside and outside the car, and that this could be interpreted as shots coming from inside. Another of Jason's key points mentioned in Judge Cooperman's written verdict was that the person in the back seat of Bell's car, Benefield, was not shot while he was running away as he claimed, but while inside the car. Jason used computer-generated 3D models to display some of his findings. In his ruling, Justice Cooperman stated that testimony by Guzman and Benefield did not make sense. He also cited the fact that they had a pending $50 million lawsuit against the city. After the ruling was made, the family, led by Sharpton and several others, went to Bell's graveside in Port Washington, Long Island for a memorial service. Although the officers were acquitted, they and their commanding officer were either fired or forced to resign on March 24, 2012.